colleges. Is there anything really distinctive about this one? Many have come here because they thought there was. To begin with, it is one of the first in the colonies, and only the second in the Commonwealth. It evolved from a grammar school in a little frontier trading post at what was then the very edge of the American West. Its founders were the penmen of the American Revolution and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. Her architect designed the new nation's new capital, built her of native limestone, adorned her with a mermaid, and rooted her in her old stone steps. Those who were to become a president, governors and jurists, mayors and citizens alike, found at Dickinson, even in the beginning, a model for other colleges. Where the world's great teacher, Nisbet, came from Scotland, and where later came Cooper and McClintock, Rogers and Wing, Horlocker and Flaherty, and Blount.
Because, as I say, the French were pledged to fight in any defense of Czechoslovakia, yet France did not honor her obligation.
The old crowd was the new crowd then. We came to Dickinson as adolescents, to be reshaped into adults, to be taught to think, to be excited by the importance of learning, to analyze and synthesize and symbolize our changeable world, so that we might make our contribution to it.
We did not break her word. She was the real reason why France did not join fighting.
The trappings have changed over the decades of 2 centuries, but no matter when our era, Dickinson taught us well.
This blank proposal shows up nowhere in the Constitution. The Constitution says nothing about the creation of a federal bank.
Well, makes the Far East is exotic.
The great old professors of Dickinsonia are all but gone, but new ones have taken their place, and will again.
They said, oh, how exotic! Where is it?
You have to give it a 0 reading first, and so you do that by putting the sample capillary.
Perhaps without fully appreciating it at the time, Dickinson taught us to inquire beyond mere requirements.
How do we create the kind of atmosphere here in the classroom?
Today, Dickinson immerses her students not only in the language of chemistry or computers, but in the languages and cultures of our global village, and in the issues of ethnicity, health, peace, and gender.
That calls for a lot of trust and for a lot of comfort with issues that themselves may be uncomfortable.
Wise is saying most people's instincts would be to reduce it down to one explanation. We'll find 10 themes.
Always true to her original mission, Dickinson equipped us with the skills of learning rather than of a trade.
Then the book is history. If you were coming to it as a person who was going to take these 4 documents and write history about them, what would you do with them? Okay?
Yeah.
Again, one more time. Tell.
Look, guys. How do we know bedding when we see it? Compositional differences. And here we're seeing mostly limestone, but then some silty beds in between. And so that means that we're either near the crest of an anticline or the trough of a syncline. But then what we
Today,
have
the process is improved by interdisciplinary programs linking the major fields of study,
Doug?
and by off-campus internships and study in the
No,
field.
right down here by the tree.
Dickinson was in 1790 among the earliest to offer modern languages, and is today among the new vanguard in language requirements and majors, and in the rebirth of the classics. Dickinson is also at the vanguard of the reawakening of the liberal arts, in applying within the sciences the highest of high technology, in bridging physical and ideological separation, and in pursuit of new ways to comprehend the interplay of matter, time, and space.
All you really have to come up with is the definition.
To feed her offspring academic sustenance, Dickinson whets her students' appetite beginning in freshman seminars.
Stoking. We have to have fuel. We have to have food.
So you've got the ADT equals, this goes in here, I've got pi over 2 times d. That's a constant. So just 2 times pi over 4 times d, dd.
One piece of rope and you're going to cut it in the middle. Cut.
Whether in frat or dorm, or in the homes of faculty or the president, the amazement of young minds goes on 24 hours every day.
But if you take them, and again, if you simply drop them, you're back to where you like them. Now what we're going to do is this. We're going from simple
Beyond the baccalaureate and continuing education, beyond the continent in Dickinson's campuses overseas, and beyond the classroom and the mind in the Dickinson of our hearts.
Moonlight floating, his charms always floating, and silent is the lofty Debbie Bell. Tonight we are singing, our voices are ringing as we soon must bid farewell. Come, come, sing with a will, sing Dickinsonia with a cheer, while others are sleeping, let us still be keeping a watch of storm our alma mater dear. These old halls resounding in charms are abounding, each stairway has a story it can tell. And when we departed and our books long started, our college songs will weave their magic spell. Come, come, sing with a will, sing Dickinsonia with a cheer, while others are sleeping, let us still be keeping a watch of song our alma mater dear.
In my time, a fairly good athlete could start all 4 years, and he or she still can, and can take pride, as we did, in how we played the game.
Fight, red and white, for we're here to win.
is the tradition of Dickinson. That from exploration comes knowledge, and from knowledge, freedom. Dickinson was the dream of Benjamin Rush, the Philadelphia physician who signed the Declaration of Independence, who opened America's first free dispensary, and who opened infant America's eyes to the need for an educated citizenry. Many argued that there was no need for a second college in Pennsylvania. Nevertheless, Dr. Rush persuaded Governor John Dickinson to endow his namesake and to help lure from Scotland her first president, the foremost teacher of the Western world, Charles Nisbet. In her first century, the college was never without a deficit and was forced twice even to close her doors. But in her second century, the success of her alumni, now including women, made possible her prosperity. And yet, in our most somber of times, oh, did we have fun. When we didn't steal the mermaid, we adorned her, or gave her wheels. And while it is not true that we students formed the human chain around Denny to prevent firemen from saving her, it is true that we trapped President Peck in a boxcar overnight and committed him to an asylum in Virginia for another. Over 2 centuries, we entertained ourselves with these extracurricular activities, nourished ourselves with hachi dogs, expressed ourselves over Cambodia, enriched ourselves with the tube, and made lifelong friends at a time in our lives we can never forget.
Blessed
condor. Dickinson, will you? Birds. They are birds. That's right. For 10 points.
And then,
And here's the bonus.
as if those most important years of our blossoming into maturity were but an instant, we found ourselves on the old stone steps.
Lounging on the old stone steps, the light is growing pale. The ivy rustles in the breeze, the mermaid flaps her tail. A word no play, the sages say, has always been dead wrong. So here we rest before old words, and while the hours in song.
Suddenly gone were the hats and the songfests, Derby Day and flagpole sitting, tappings and chairings. Gone were the classes and exams and profs of the small liberal arts college that once teetered at the edge of the American frontier. Bosler, Conway, Denny, Dreher, Dean Meredith, Old West. Yesterday's forever gone, but never forgotten. Whatever time has passed, whatever accomplishments we have earned since, Dickinson is in the present within us. And what of our alma mater? The Dickinson of tomorrow will be the prototype for liberal arts education, just as she was over 200 years ago. Led by an innovative administration and faculty, she will be unrivaled in the new century already dawning. And guided by her advisors and trustees, she will continue both to build new facilities and to restore the old, incomparably beautiful college we remember and love. Like us in our prime, Dickinson has yet to achieve fully what she can. The demand is increasing for an enlightened citizenry beyond Benjamin Rush's comprehension. As another class is inducted into her alumni, the task remains and recurs to free new minds to explore and to grasp. That duty is Dickinson's. That mission is ours.
Sing Dickens on your